Hello my tarot friends. Today I decided to show you my whole collection of my oracle decks. I decided to do this because I have not shown any oracle decks yet on this channel, and I feel that they deserve a spotlight because I do use them every day as well as I do tarot. I am going to show them to you in a specific type of order, let's say. I'm gonna start with the animal decks, then plant decks, then astrology type of decks, then earthy-ish type of decks, then something between earthy and spiritual decks, and at the end I'm gonna finish it off with my spiritual decks. Some of these decks I am passing on, and the ones that I am passing on I will mention that as well. So let's start with my animal decks. The first one is the Thistledown deck. This is the oracle deck that I was very excited to get, and then when I got it I kind of feel similar towards it that I feel for Oak, Ash and Thorn. So this deck is absolutely gorgeous. It has that dark feel to it, so I suppose it would be good for shadow work, but there is a but. I don't use it as much as I thought I was gonna use it, even though it has nature and animals, and it reminds me of my home, my forest where I grew up in. Well, I did grow up in a house, but I spend a lot of my time in the forest, and this reminds me of it. I just don't use it. Maybe some of the words don't make complete sense to me. I don't know, maybe I should give it a bit more. For example, this one, Dawn. I don't understand why Dawn and why she chose dragonflies. You do get a PDF guidebook with it that is not awfully detailed, unfortunately. But it's just, I don't know. Maybe I should actually read it. For me, I feel whenever I get the PDF guidebooks with my decks, I just don't use them, really. But yeah, this one is absolutely gorgeous, and I will make sure that I put it on my table where I work and actually use it. Because I feel, I just didn't give it enough chance yet. Whilst with the Oak, Ash and Thorn I actually tried, and it's just not working for me. So I might pass it on, actually, or exchange it for another deck that I think I might enjoy more. The next animal deck that I'm going to show you is Archangel Animal Oracle cards by Deanna Cooper. I love Deanna Cooper. I love the way she writes. I love her messages, and the art in this one is very gentle. I really like it. The animals connect to archangels, so their energy, which I really appreciate. And we have unicorn in the deck as well, which I love because I love unicorns. Very grounding in a way. Even though it has archangels energies, the animals help to ground that energy, and I don't know, it's easier to recognize it. It's harder to notice archangels energies, and with the animals, okay, so if I see a tiger in my life, even if it's not in person, that is Archangel Raphael's energy. So it's really nice in that aspect. I really enjoyed this deck. The next two decks that I'm going to show you are not really animals, but they're beings, I suppose. One is The Magic of the Unicorns by Deanna Cooper again. And oh my gosh, I really love this deck. I could put this deck into my spiritual decks actually, but since unicorns kind of come from horses, I decided I'm gonna put it in my animal category. So this deck allows you to grow with the unicorn energy. You can use it to start with number 1 and then go up to number 44, and every card is like an up level to your spiritual journey, let's say. And it's just so beautiful. The messages are gorgeous. It gives you invocation in the end. It's diverse, even though we have unicorns, we also have people in it, and the people are diverse. I really, really appreciate that. And it's just, I love this deck so much. It's beautiful. I love unicorns, so I think this is the best unicorn oracle out there, in my opinion. So yeah, this is my Magic of the Unicorns. The next deck I'm gonna show you is, again, a deck with beings in them cards, and this is Dragon Oracle cards, again by Deanna Cooper. I love dragon energy. I've researched quite a bit before I got a dragon deck, because often I feel one can be disappointed because it's just, I don't know, I feel Diana really connects with dragons, actual dragons. It's not just like, this is a fire dragon, this is the earth dragon. It's like, no, there are dragons from all dimensions and they all have a specific message for you, and it's just so accurate, this deck. I really, really enjoy it. I know some people don't like the borders on the bottom. I don't mind them at all. I love the fact that you have the title, short sentence about this, and then a bit more under here, which I love. So for example, a dragon clears your path and the land around you, and then you have stay grounded, be ready to serve, stuck energy is clearing, you can move forward in life. So you don't really need to use the guidebook, although the guidebook is absolutely lovely. I do love her style, writing style, and her messages. You could also check her YouTube channel. She has a YouTube channel and she's just such a marvelous, spiritual, kind woman. I really love her kindness. Like it's like this orb of light around her, I feel. She's a beautiful soul. I have not come across any dragon tarot decks that I would be interested in. They just feel a bit too forced. I'm gonna say forced. I feel lots of dragon decks feel forced, and this one really doesn't. The next deck is a mix. I put two decks together to make a big deck, and that is the Druid Animal and Druid Plant Oracle. I trimmed mine. As you can see, it's not, this is my first trimming that I've ever done, so it's not the best, but I kept the beautiful borders on. And yeah, it's a combination of animals and plants, and I put them together because even though they have different energies, plants and animals, the art style is the same. It's the same artist. It just works together really well. The guidebooks that come with it are so rich as well, full of information. Yeah, just to help you connect with that energy of the plant or the animal that you find or you pick up from a deck. And you can see, look at that. Look at this too. They're in the same spot basically. You have Ada here and you have Yarrow. And you know, plants and animals sometimes have similar energies, so it makes sense. You also have dragons in this deck, but just the main 4 dragons. And yeah, it's just so beautiful. It, again, I feel every time I use these cards that, especially the plant ones, I feel that I can step into each picture and be there and feel the energy of the plant, of the land. It is the UK land, but I don't know, it still reminds me of my home. So yes, absolutely gorgeous. So now let's go on to my plant decks. And here we're going to find the first deck that I am gonna pass on. This is Flower Medicine Oracle deck. It is absolutely beautiful. You can get it on Etsy. As you can see, the box is gorgeous as well. What you get with it is a spread card, and then you get like a little spreadsheet that explains each card very shortly, and then a color code card, and then you get into the cards that are absolutely beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I love the art of this deck. I'm giving it to the person who's close to me, so I will still see this deck around. But yeah, it's just the message of the card. Let's say you have passion flower, the name of the plant, and then you have sacrifice. And although you could work just with keywords here, I like to know more about why the certain plant is this, you know, has this association with it. The little leaflet that you get is not deep enough for my taste, but you know, you could definitely still work with this. I got a different oracle instead of this one that I'm going to show next, where the art is as gorgeous, but the guidebook is just on another level. So the deck that I got instead of the one that I just showed is Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle. And this deck is just everything. I use it so much. It's probably my most used oracle deck that I have. As you can see, the art is absolutely gorgeous. I love the fact that you get the name of the plant, the word association with it, and then explanation here, so you really don't have to use the guidebook, but I still do because it's just so well written. And this deck is so healing. It's like it helps you heal your soul. It helps you go through troubling times. It picks you up when you're down. It's just so good. Like, if anyone is going through hard time, I would suggest them this deck, because it's just, the words are like a warm hug or a shoulder you can cry on and lean on. It is just so good. There is a reason why this deck is on my desk at all times and why I use it basically every day. If I have to, yeah, it's if I have to choose one Oracle deck to keep, it would be this one. And it also pairs beautifully with my favorite tarot deck, which is the Eartcraft Oracle as well. So a win-win situation. Next Oracle deck, the Herbal Astrology Oracle, is like a combination between obviously herbs and astrology, and I love this deck as well so much. Not only because the art is absolutely gorgeous, but because the guidebook is so amazing. I mean, wow, look at that. For example, you get the name, you get the keywords, you get the Latin name, you got the upright, reversed meanings, astrological associations. Then it explains the history of the plant and how peoples around the world use this plant or used this plant, and then you get the guidance at the end. It's just so well done. It's incredible. So let me just show you a few cards. It's really an amazing oracle. Yeah, I love that she used I love that she shared hallucinogens as well. Also, it is diverse, which I love. Even though it's a plant oracle, you have people on it and you have planets on each card. There are associations with tarot as well, which I appreciate a lot, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So beautiful. It's like very gentle as well, but the messages are not super gentle in the book. They are direct. They tell you as it is, which I appreciate. So yes, this is my Herbal Astrology Oracle. Next we have Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck. And I don't use this deck as an oracle deck. I use it as a study deck, or when I do charts, astrology charts. It comes in like double box, which is very interesting. It's quite big. The guidebook is very beginners friendly, I'm gonna say. So I feel this deck is a really good deck for beginners in astrology. The art style, I'll show you in a second, is not my favorite, I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit too pastel-y for me, and too, maybe not detailed enough, maybe too simplistic, but nevertheless it is great. So I love using this deck for charts. So whenever I explain people's astrology charts to them, I am not an astrologer, once again. Once again, I mentioned that in my previous video, but I do love astrology, and I love looking at different associations within people's charts. So, yeah, as you can see, the cards are like, look at this too, right? Capricorn and Taurus, very similar looking cards. I feel, I don't know. If I could keep the content, the knowledge of this deck, and have a different art with it, it would be perfect. And I would use it more, and I might use it even as an oracle cards, because you can. Because in the guidebook you do get a message. Let me just show you real quick. So you would have explained what house 1 represents, then keywords and energies, experiences, and then omen. This is can be used as an oracle message. So, it can definitely be used like that. But, I just... because it's not pleasing to my eye enough. I just don't do that. So... but it is a great deck for what I just said before. Oh yeah, and the card stock is rubbish. Look at that. It's falling apart. Like, it doesn't stay. My next astrology deck is this one. This is a deck that for the longest time I refused to get because I was not the biggest fan of the artwork, although now I actually like the artwork. I don't know, I felt like it was a bit hyped, but it is hyped for a reason. That's what I'm gonna say. I love the way the guidebook is written in this. The artwork I enjoy. It is not my favorite type of artwork, but I still enjoy it now that I have the deck in front of me. But yeah, it is so good. So for example, Mercury, right? First you would have explained what Mercury is and what it's all about. Then you would have action, what you should do. Then the challenge aspect of Mercury and the gift aspect of Mercury, which I really appreciate, and this deck can definitely be used better as the oracle deck. It can also be used as a study deck for sure, if you're learning astrology, because you have all different aspects to this deck. Let me show you here, it's going to be faster. So you have all the signs, you have qualities, you have solar activity, you have luminaries, you have planets, asteroids, lunar nodes. Then you have cardinal points, houses, supportive aspects, challenging aspects, changing states. It's really well thought out. Heather Roan Robbins, who is a creator of this deck, is a really experienced astrologer, so she knows what she's talking about. Whereas the other deck that I showed you before, the author has only been doing it for a few years, so she's not super duper experienced. I'm not saying that means that she's not a good astrologer. I'm sure she is, but I just feel more trusting of someone who has a lot of experience in this world of astrology. So yeah, this was my Starcodes Astro Oracle. And my last astrology deck is the Chinese 5 Elements Oracle. Oh my god, this deck, it's so good. I've also been interested in Chinese astrology my whole life. I do not know a lot about it because it's much more well, I don't know if it's much more complex, it's just very different to the Western astrology. And this one, just, I feel that Vicky Iskander just manages to connect all the aspects of Chinese astrology into these cards so well. And then not only the cards are absolutely gorgeous, and you can use them very intuitively as well because of the pictures. The way she laid out the guidebook is absolutely incredible. Like, firstly, she explains the Chinese astrology and how it works in quite depth here. Then you get the meaning of the cards, some spreads and the meanings of the cards, and then at the end she explains the elements and the animals and the energies that they bring. And yeah, it's really, really, really well done deck. So I use this a lot as well. I think it's a very good deck to use when you're doing a tarot reading, either before or after. Yeah, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's... Oh, and there is 60 cards. And I always love myself a chunky oracle deck. Okay, the next deck that is not astrology, but it is Kabbalah based. This is a deck that is also going to a different home because I don't use it. I started studying Kabbalah and taught deck and Tarot of the Spirit, but I feel those two decks are, and the books that I have with them, are enough for me to study it, and so I don't find myself reaching for this deck, although it is absolutely gorgeous. Like, the artwork is literally down my alley. This is the type of artwork I love. Watercolors, busy scenes, loads and loads of hidden messages within the cards and symbols and stuff like that. So I love, love, love how this deck looks like, but I feel the guidebook is it's good for the beginners, I'm gonna say. If you're not a beginner, I don't know, you could still use this deck, I suppose, to represent the Tree of Life, but as you know, the Tree of Life is woven into tarot anyway, so then I'm like, I don't really need this. So yeah, it's going into a new home where he is going to be loved and cherished and used. So this was the Tree of Life Oracle. And now we're going to the new category of oracles, and that is decks that are more grounded, let's say, or earthy. And I'm gonna start with a deck from Etsy that is quite, let's say, simple because it doesn't have any guidebook. It's very intuitive, perhaps, although it only has a keyword and then a sentence describing this keyword, let's say. I still notice that I use it, you know, because before I was saying with my plant one that it just doesn't give me enough, but I feel with these ones you have more of a scene, and because it is beings on it, they just speak to me more than the plants themselves in that other deck. So yeah, this is available on Etsy. It is called The Whispers of the Heart Oracle on Etsy. It is absolutely stunning. I got it because the artwork is beautiful. I use this as a really quick pull, like what should I focus on right now, and then bam, justice would come out and be like, okay, what in my life is not just, or stuff like that. So this little pouch comes with it as well. Okay, the next deck is also finding a new home, and that is the Earthcraft Oracle. This deck is wonderful, it's beautiful, it's down to earth, you know, it is very earthy, but I just don't reach for it. As you can see, I edged it as well in this beautiful orange. I thought I'm gonna work with it so much, but I literally got it, went through it like twice and edged it, and then I put it away and I never used it. And I don't know why, I just don't. Maybe I'm not too keen on the guidebook, although it's nice. It's nothing wrong with the guidebook, it's lovely. I don't know, it just doesn't speak to me. I think this is just what happens in this world of tarots and oracle decks. Some people find certain decks wonderful and they can read them easily and the guidebooks speak to them, and then another person is just not going to work the same for them, and that is okay. So this one is going to find a beautiful new home and it's going to be used and someone is going to love it. So yeah. Next here I have Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. I really enjoy this oracle because, and this is the only one that I have from this series, I love this one specifically because it's all about manifestation and growth, and you know, when things are coming out in spring, and yeah, it just speaks to me. And the rest of them that I saw so far, they're beautiful, but the messages, I don't know, I like growth, I like spring, I was born in spring, so maybe that's why it talks to me. And I love the fact that you have the keyword and that you have a little poetry on the bottom. So let's say manifestation. Sometimes they come as a breeze upon your fingertips. At other times they dwell in the depths of your soul. It is a dance between you and spirit as the magic unfolds. How beautiful! I really like that. I love the fact that it's poetic. Yeah, it's creative, it's poetic, like spring, you know? So yeah, this is the Beltane Oracle. Next we have an oracle deck that is absolutely stunning. It is the same creator as the Witch's Wisdom Tarot, and that is Danielle Barlow. This one I mainly used for my altar to, you know, just put it up because it's so beautiful. I don't necessarily use it as an oracle deck, sometimes, but not often enough. I don't know why, again. It is maybe because I use my Witch's Wisdom Tarot and that one is very oracle-y itself, so maybe that's why. The guidebook is not very detailed either, so if you know me, you know that I am huge on guidebooks, especially with oracle decks. I feel with tarot decks, you know the system, and you could just, you know, because you know the system, and you know if you are, learning about astrology and astronomy and all other esoteric stuff that comes with tarot, you would be able to interpret any cards, any tarot cards that you get. Whereas with the oracle cards, I feel they need the guidebook. You can use them intuitively, but just the knowledge you're going to be tapping into with oracle cards is not the same, or could be, but not completely the same as with tarot decks. So that is my personal opinion. What do you think? How do you use oracle cards? Are the guidebooks important to you? Write in the comments below. I'm very interested to hear. For me, yeah, I just want a comprehensive, long, detailed guidebook with an oracle deck. So yeah, the next one is Soul Cards, and I actually joined Soul Cards 1 and 2 together. I just put a few of the cards that I was not too keen on out of the deck because otherwise it would be too huge. So this is an example of an oracle deck that can be used intuitively, but I don't know, it's just, I feel the artist channeled the messages of the spirit through her art, and that's why it can be used like that. It doesn't even have titles, which I really appreciate, you know, because it really allows you to explore your intuition. So maybe this is contradictory to what I was saying before, but I don't know, with this deck it just works. It just works that you use it intuitively and let the cards speak to you with no words, but with messages that just come from spirit, from above. So yeah, I am sure that everyone is very aware of these two decks. I heard somewhere that she's creating Soul Deck 3. I'm not sure if that is correct or not. I hope it is. But I don't think I'm gonna get it because these two are very rich. They give me enough, I would say. I don't think I need another one that speaks in this way. I mean, let's see when it's out, if it's ever out. But I don't think so. I think this is enough for me. Look how thick it is. I think this is like 90 cards or something. So yeah, so as you could see, the theme a bit changed. So this is something between earth and spirit, right? The soul cards with it, kind of this. They are connected to the spirit, but at the same time, the pictures and stuff are very earthy. And the next deck that is like this for me is the Oracle of Portals. this is definitely an oracle number 2 that if I only had to keep 2, this would be the second one, because the guidebook is just so amazing. The art itself is beautiful, but it's not my favorite. It is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but the guidebook is just so fluid and the messages are just amazing. Like, it's basically each card represents a portal, so you stepping from one area of your life, let's say, to the next, and it's just such a brilliant context. I feel like we're going through different portals every single day. Yes, different life stages as well, but it can apply to things for every day as well, which I really appreciate and love. So I'm just gonna put it here so you can pause and read it if you would like to. So it is long, but not too long, you know. I really like it when they use at least 2 pages in the guidebook and not just like 3 sentences. The next deck that I absolutely adore and I use it for shadow work is the Lantern Oracle. Wow, this deck does not play, I tell you this. It gives you like it is. It exposes, like it shines. The lantern shines on the things that you might not be aware of, or the things that you are in denial about, or the things that you don't want to see. It's incredible. And once again, one of the best written guidebooks out there, in my opinion. It's just so good. I believe that the author is a psychotherapist or psychologist. She is a PhD. I forgot in what specifically, but it is something to do with psychology. And you get explanation of what is going on basically with you. Then it gives you the prompts to work on yourself in many cards. Not all of them, but in many cards are quite challenging, let's say. You would get that. And what I love about this is the deck is separated into Maiden, Mother and Crone. And so you have all 8 stages of a womanhood in this. And even though it is very feminine deck, I know it can be used for people who have more masculine energy, let's say. This one always reminds me of Cara Delevingne. Am I the only one seeing this? Please tell me. It is somewhat diverse, not enough in my opinion, but better than no diversity, I suppose. You do have different body shapes, which I appreciate, and of course different ages. I pulled this card up whilst I said that, funny. But yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. So if I had to suggest one deck for shadow work, it would definitely be this one. Now we're slowly moving to more spiritual waters, or even more spiritual waters, and this is Goddesses, Gods and Guardians Oracle cards. Artwork done by Hilary Wilson, who I am a huge fan of. Her art is absolutely gorgeous, and this deck is just so beautiful. It is one of the most diverse decks that I have. I love that it represents different gods and goddesses and guardians around the world, and the guidebook is very comprehensive as well, and it's not too complex, but it tells you enough about the deity and then the message that the deity is telling you. It is so beautiful. Her artwork is just stunning. And like I said before, I am loving the diversity in this deck, and you have age diversity as well. Cardstock is a bit sticky, but you can riffle shuffle it, which is a great thing. See, Lilith is again more mature woman. This is my least favorite card in the deck. I don't know, this guy just doesn't seem as realistic as other gods and deities in this deck. Literally gods and goddesses from all around the world, and I love that so much. So I don't want to use too much time here, but I absolutely adore this deck. So whenever I want a specific deity, not specific, whenever I'm open to different deities talk to me through spirit, I would use this deck and be like, okay, who wants to come through and give me a message today, and what do I need to hear? And I feel this could also be a really good end of tarot reading as well. Then the next deck is the Faeries Oracle. This deck is talked about quite a lot on tarottube, I noticed, and there is a reason why. I mean, it is just really cool. Not only the art is absolutely amazing and fun and cheeky, but so are the messages, you know. The messages are really nice in the guidebook. And the guidebook is written in a very different way, I'm gonna say, than the rest of the guidebooks that I came across. It's very homely. I forgot the name of the person who wrote this, but the way he writes in it feels like he's your friend and you're talking to a friend, and he's just channeled these fairies, and you know, he's telling you as it is and as they told him. There's no filter kind of thing there, which I really appreciate. So yeah, this I feel is also, if you are connected to the fairy realm, this deck is a must, I think. I really enjoy this deck so much. And because I like direct messages, I use it often. But if you are not too keen on that, then beware. Fairies are very direct and they will tell you as it is. And this is my last deck from Diana Cooper, and this is Archangel Oracle cards. It's funny, I've never felt connected to angels when I was younger because of, I'm not going to go into details, but you know, my country is very Christian. I think it's the word Christian. And because of that, as children trying to be forced into a religion, thankfully my mom and dad were not religious, but other family members and society really in my country were like, oh, you don't go to church, you're not a good person or whatever, or you are not okay because you don't go to church, whatever. So because of that, I was very resentful of anything to do with angels or Jesus my whole life, until recently, really, until like a year ago, when I realized angels really have nothing to do with Christianity per se. Angels are just beings or light beings who are messengers from God, and they are his, like, you know, his hand. I don't know how else to put this. What Christianity did was take things that already existed and put it into their own system, I suppose, and made them theirs, even though, did they really belong to them? No. Do they? No. So I really enjoy this deck so much. As you can see, it's also diverse, and Diana talks about how different angels, and here you have different, it's not just angels, they are on different dimensions and which parts of the world they are placed above. And I love the fact that you have the name of the archangel, and then you have a little message that he's trying to tell you, or she, or they. Actually they, because they're not male or female really. Yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful and so nice. Like, I love connecting to angels now. I love it. I think they're just so beautiful and healing and very helpful. If only you call upon them and ask them for help, they will guide you. And the artist, Jane Delafort Taylor, is also, I believe, a Reiki healer and a color therapy healer. So her paintings, if you just look at them, they give you this healing effect. It's absolutely amazing. So talking about angels, my next deck is Archangel Metatron by Amanda Ellis. She also has a YouTube channel. You should check her out. She's amazing. I love this deck as well. So it's Metatron, Archangel Metatron, speaking to you through these messages, and it's so good, very beautiful. The artwork is done by the same artist like the previous deck. Both of Amanda's decks are done by the same artist, and I see why, because she is just, look at that, just looking at these cards feels healing. And her guidebooks are written in such an amazing way, and like I was talking about before, I love me a good guidebook, so I really suggest this one. If you want to connect to Metatron, this is a really good deck to do so. It is so good, beautiful. The messages are very diverse, if that makes sense. Very different aspects of life are in these cards. You could recognize some messages that can go with tarot messages as well, but yeah, it's very subtly done, so I love it. And it has a beautiful gilding, and the cardstock is absolutely amazing. Let me show you how it shuffles. This is like my favorite shuffler of my oracle cards. It's so amazing. And the next deck that I will show you is by the same author, Amanda Ellis, and it is Christ Consciousness Oracle. And that's another thing I was talking about before. Like, I was very resentful of Jesus and his teachings and everything my whole life, until I don't even know how this happened. I suppose I was hearing somebody talk about Christ consciousness and what it really represents, and that it has nothing to really do with Christianity. It's the way that you think and go around in the world, and the energy you give out, and how you treat people, etc. And it's called Christ consciousness because Jesus, or Joshua, because that was his real name, was representing or did embody all of those qualities that Christ consciousness is. In the guidebook, the stories of Jesus, yes, are written there, but there's more than just that. And it's just so well written. And I love this deck because it's also not just beautiful and healing to look at, but because it's also diverse, and yeah, it just touches all the important subjects in life. I feel everyone should read this guidebook, if not have the deck, because I think it helps a person to become a better person. It helps you remind you of your own qualities as a human being that you should check yourself on, you know. Are you coming from ego? Are you coming from the fact that your actions affect everyone, and how could you use those actions to benefit everyone included? You know, it's just so wonderful. I love this deck so much. We have 2 more decks left, and they are, I would say, the most spiritual ones in my collection. This is one. It's called Beyond Lemuria Oracle cards, and it's done by Izzy Ivy, and this deck is absolutely incredible. If you are a person who believes in the world that once existed called Lemuria, and how beings were at that time, how the world was and how it worked, you should definitely get this deck. So Izzy basically channeled the paintings, and she also channeled the messages. Oh, sorry, it's all messed up because I was shuffling it in the wrong way again. So the messages are absolutely wonderful, and the pictures or paintings, these are paintings, are amazing. Some people complain because, as you can see here, some images are the full borderless card, and some of them were drawn in a different way, so she couldn't, you know, otherwise she couldn't extend them, otherwise the part of the painting would go away. It doesn't bother me at all. So let me just show you the guidebook because it needs to be mentioned. So you get a little black and white picture here, and then you have a short, in thick letters, you have a short description of what the card means, and then she goes in a proper long explanation of the card, and sometimes she talks about how it came into existence, and then you have divinatory meaning at the end, and it's just so amazing. I don't know, so like the wisdom coming from this guidebook is on another level, I'm gonna say. It's just wow, it touches me every single time. It made me cry a few times, this deck as well. I am highly connected to Lemurian energy. I have my Lemurian crystals that I love and use every day. So this deck helps me to connect to our ancestors that came from that time, from different world, from different ancient civilization, I suppose. Yeah, look at that. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. So I highly suggest this deck to anyone who loves busy, colorful art, but also who feels connected to Lemurians and their energy, their beautiful, wonderful, rainbowy, pure energy. And we are soon going to get to my last deck, that is actually a new deck that I got 2 days ago, and that is Lightworker Oracle. This is the 2nd edition. So this edition is, the art is so beautiful. It's the same art as on Goddesses, Gods and Guardians. It's the same artist, but there are 2 artists here. One is Hilary Wilson, and the other one is, I'm gonna show you at the end, it says Mario Duguay. I'm not sure how to pronounce his surname, but yeah, these are the artists. And look at this chunk of a guidebook. This is what I love seeing. Every card has like not 1 page, not 2 pages, but sometimes 4 pages or 5 pages. She goes into it very deeply, and I don't think this deck is for everyone. It actually is for people who feel like they're light workers, for people who feel like they have this ability to connect to something more and, I don't know, channel it through them to heal the world, basically. So her name is Alana Fairchild, the author. And yeah, let me just show you the cards because they're absolutely gorgeous. So we get this little card in with a beautiful invocation, I am confidence, I am courage, I am divine, I'm human, I'm light, I'm love, I am uniquely me. And then you also get, what I love, a little stand for the cards. Amazing. So you would get, like, it stands in like that. So nice. I really appreciate that. Although I do have my card stands, but I love that you have this one for just one card. And I actually counted the diversity in this deck, and it's literally 50% and 50%. So 50% of people of color and 50% of white people. I would prefer if the numbers of people of color were higher, but it is not bad. I love the gilding. Look at that gilding, please. Oh my god. It's matte gold, my favorite. And the way it shuffles is absolutely amazing as well. Let me just quickly show you. Amazing. So let me show you the cards. I love that they have Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine in the deck as well. Isn't this art just absolutely stunning? Like, you can see, so that's the Mario's paintings and this is Hillary's paintings. You can see the difference in the style, although it is kind of it's not similar, but I don't know, it just works together really well, so you wouldn't really notice if you didn't know, I suppose. So yeah, the art is just so beautiful and it feels divine and it feels connected to something higher. It's so amazing. And this is a completely new deck. It just came out. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite or most used decks, because it's just, the messages in the guidebook are just so deep, and you don't need more than one card because the messages are so deep. Although I did pull 3 cards and they all made sense for past, present and future. It was incredible. And I love the fact that it's not just diverse, but it also diversity in the skin tone, which is very important. This is my last deck that I wanted to show you today. I'm gonna go through the whole thing because it's so beautiful that it deserves the spotlight. I hope that you enjoyed this showcase of my Oracle decks. This is all the decks that I have. So like I said before, I am passing on 4 of the decks. And to be honest, I don't think I need any more Oracle cards. I think they cover everything that I need in my readings, in my spiritual practice. That this is going to be my last Oracle deck for a very long time, unless someone gives me another one. But yeah, so this was Lightworker Oracle 1111 edition. The previous edition was not diverse, and I appreciated the author realized this, acknowledged it, and made changes. I think that's very important. What do you think of my Oracle decks that I have? Do you have any similar decks? Do you want to get any of the decks that I showed you, and why? Please write in the comments below, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.